Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. So I've been trying to decide lately between the Micro Four Thirds and the NEX system. I want a small interchangeable lens camera system, and I'm not sure which way to go on this. My friend Peter Gregg, BetterBounceCard.com, the inventor of Better Bounce Card and the flash rate, is currently evaluating both the NEX-5N and the E-P3. Now, he's got me quite interested in the E-P3. I'd previously discounted 4/3 being the sensor size didn't appeal to me because it wasn't as good quality as APS-C. However, Peter's reaction is that they've really brought up the sensor in here, and I've looked at some samples online, and it looks like yes, they have that the new 12 megapixel sensor in the Olympus EP3 is quite good. I would say it's probably on par, something in between, say, my older D300. And maybe my D70. So maybe not quite as good as the D300, but pretty darn close. The NEX-5N, Peter likes it, but he tends to favor the EP3. So I'm looking at both of them, looking at the systems. I'm going to go into the store, check them out, but I thought I'd just share with you the pros and cons of each of them for me on paper, what I've come up with, why I might want one, what I think is going to be why I'd want one and why I wouldn't want the other. The EP3, the Olympus, very nice build, very, very small body, smaller than the NEX series when you take all the lenses into account, because a lot of the NEX lenses are larger. The EP3 has quite a lot of pro lenses, fast lenses like the new 12mm f2, the 45mm f1.8. You can use all of the Panasonic lenses on there too. So there's like the Panasonic 20mm f1.7, and I believe they've got a 25 f1.4 as well. The EP3 has a hot shoe, which is huge. I can use my remote flashes. I can put a trigger on there, such as a Pocket Wizard or an eBay trigger, the cheap ones, whatever you want to call them. And the autofocus. Apparently, from what Peter's telling me, the autofocus is insane on this thing. Apparently, it's like the fastest autofocus out there. Maybe not as fast as the V1, the new Nikon 1 series, but anyways, very good autofocus. The Sony NEX-5N, on the other hand, has the Nikon D7000 16 megapixel sensor in it. It has that high-end 16 megapixel, high-end, high ISO, very clean high ISO sensor. From the reports I'm seeing and from the initial images, looks like it might even be cleaner at high ISO on the NEX-5N than the D7000 is, or the Pentax K5. Very interesting there, so that's appealing. The lenses, a little bit of a consideration there, a little bit of a concern. Not a lot of offering in NEX lenses. You can use an adapter from Sony and use all their alpha lenses, but then all of a sudden you're into the large full-size DSR lenses, and you've kind of lost that compact camera system advantage that you were going for in the first place. The other big thing on that 5N that's a bit of a concern is there's no hot shoe. It's a screw-in flash that comes with it, so there's no actual hot shoe. And from what I've seen, I've dug around online, nobody at this point is making a converter so that you could use a regular flash or your wireless triggers on there. So that's a concern for me, because I do like to use off-camera lighting. Yes, you could use the flash and trigger it with an optical slave, but nowhere near the control as having a trigger. Plus, other people's cameras, if you're around somewhere where other people are taking pictures, are going to trigger your optical slaves. The sensor, as I mentioned, excellent. The size of the camera on the NEX-5N is very good. It's very small. Now, again, the lenses, not so small. You take a pancake lens like a 16mm f2.8, very small. But there's really no other lenses that are small. There's the new NEX 50mm f1.8 coming out. It's small, but that's it so far. So hopefully Sony's going to bring more to the game there, but it is a concern at the moment. And the AF, I've heard concerns with the AF that it's not all that fast, and that also that it makes some noises, clicking noises apparently, when you're shooting video with it. So that's a concern. The other thing that I really like, that it sounds really cool on the NEX-5N, is this focus peaking. The ability to put a manual focus lens on with an adapter. And apparently the adapters are cheap, and there's lots of them out there on eBay. And then you can put a manual focus lens on, and you turn on focus peaking. And apparently what that's supposed to do is it will color the focused areas in your choice of color. So you can choose, I think, red or blue or yellow, and then that area on what is in focus as you're turning the focus ring will show up in that color, so you know what is in focus. From all reports that I've read, apparently this is just an awesome feature and people are really loving it. I know Michael Reichman at Luminous Landscape loves it, and a lot of guys with Leica lenses and Zeiss sonar lenses, things like that, the older manual focus ones, are loving the NEX with their manual focused lenses. So this is where I'm at right now. This is where my head is at, trying to figure out which system works better for me, which system would I want to buy into, looking at the NEX-5N and the EP3. Now, it should be said, too, that the advantage maybe with the NEX-5N, I don't know if you're going to call it an advantage with that, but when its big brother, the NEX-7, comes out, you'll have the ability to, if you've bought into that side of the system, to have that even nicer 24 megapixel sensor. Nicer as far as resolution. I don't think it's going to be good as far as high ISO, but built-in EVF and all those things. I should say that as well. The NEX-5N has an optional EVF. So does the EP3. However, the NEX-5N's optional EVF is supposed to be heads and tails better than the Ollies. It has the same one that's built into the new Sony A77, A65, and will be in the NEX-7. So, let me know what you think, folks. Thoughts, feedback. If any of you are shooting either of these systems, let me know what your comments, what your feedback or your experience is. I'd like to know, and I'm going to be choosing one of these hopefully in the next few days, and then we'll give you some unboxing and some reasons why I chose which one. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned to Art of the Image. We'll be back soon with some new videos, some new articles. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography here at artoftheimage.com. Thanks a lot.